I changed the question a bit. पहले xenon था, अभी I counted the number of shells wrong. It's supposed to be krypton. There was one change, and the other was यहाँ पे energy level En missing था. Nobody attempted this, नहीं? ठीक है, तो फिर please एक मिनट. Some gave it a try, you weren't able to get the answer. Okay. All right, some did attempt. All right. ठीक है, तो फिर इसको थोड़ा डिस्कस करना स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं. It's quite simple. In fact, in the meanwhile, if somebody feels like you're getting getting a way to solve the question, by all means, do solve the question. Anyone, somebody missed yesterday. Should you go through the notes first? I would say stick around. अभी जितना समझ सकते हो समझ लो. But हाँ, मतलब it a little bit maybe difficult to follow because you missed what happened yesterday. छोटा ही लेक्चर है, दो आज के लेक्चर में हो जाएगा. So you'll have to sit and maybe watch the recording once, but try to stay back, try to just pick up as much as you can. Okay. So yeah, let's discuss this question. We are saying ki, let's say that for krypton, the energy of a photon of the following X-rays are K beta, L alpha, sorry, K beta is 60, L alpha is 20, L beta is 25, and let's say its ionization is 5. Question is, find the energy of a photon of these X-rays. Okay. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Find the energy of a photon of these X-rays. तो इसको अब करना कैसे है? तो I would say कि whenever you have a question like this is in fact a quite common question from X-rays, जहाँ पे L alpha K beta देंगे और K alpha निकालने को पूछेंगे. That's one very common question. And the way you answer these questions is draw those energy levels we saw on this page. Draw these energy levels. When you draw that diagram of the first, ये जो ऊपर जो blue diagram है, if you draw that, you can easily understand what they are asking. All right. So let's just see that diagram. यहाँ पे these are our energy levels. Just to again remind you, what do these energy levels represent? So we have electrons coming from our electrons are emitted from a filament by thermionic emission. Those electrons are then accelerated towards a target. When the electrons hit the target, they lose energy and they emit X-rays. So वो हो जाता है continuous X-rays. But there's another mechanism by which they also emit X-rays, and that's when those electrons go and knock out an electron from one of the inner shells of the atom. Okay? So when they knock out an electron from the inner shell, जितना अंदर वाले शेल से इलेक्ट्रॉन नॉकआउट करेंगे उतना ज्यादा अनस्टेबल एटम हो जाएगा, उतना ज्यादा एनर्जेटिक वो एटम हो जाएगा. Right? Higher energy means lower stability. So the most unstable configuration is when there is a vacancy or there's an electron knocked out of the K shell. Most unstable configuration is when there is a vacancy in the K shell, and we are representing that energy level as EK. The next level is when there is a vacancy in the L shell, the second shell. Uska energy level is EL, and so on and so forth. Third shell में vacancy का energy होगा EM. Fourth shell में vacancy का energy होगा EN, so on and so forth. Now I've picked krypton, and krypton has exactly 4 shells, right? So krypton has exactly 4 shells. अब क्या-क्या दिया है? अच्छा, हमें ये भी पता है कि when there is no vacancy, that energy level is taken to be 0 energy level. In this question, they said 60 kilo electron volt is the energy for the K beta X-ray. तो होता क्या है, as we saw, when there is a vacancy in the K shell, that's very unstable. So electrons will try to move into the K shell from higher shells. When they try, yeah, anyone who just had network issues, I've not taught anything new. मैं कल का ही थोड़ा recap दे रहा था. ये page अभी भी discuss करना बाकी है. कल का थोड़ा recap दे रहा हूँ. So when there is a vacancy in the K shell, electrons will try to fill that vacancy from a higher orbit. Okay? So if an electron tries to fill that vacancy from the L shell, the vacancy goes from K to L and the energy level changes from EK to EL. Aisa transition, okay, because it's starting from K, because the vacancy was originally at K, aisa transition is called a K transition, and we put the alphabet alpha in front of it, saying it's a transition between K and the next orbit. A transition between K and the next to next orbit would be called K beta. So K or M के बीच में transition is called as K beta, and फिर वैसा and so on, K and N, first and fourth shell के बीच में transition is called as K gamma. So these transitions are very much like a Lyman series transitions. Only difference being यहाँ पे surrounding atom में और भी electrons है, apart from the one making the transition, there are other electrons, whereas Bohr's में you have only that single electron. But otherwise, it's almost like your Lyman transition, Lyman series. फिर L alpha is between L and M, L beta is between L and N, and M alpha is from M to N. Now, we are told K beta transition के लिए energy gap is 60 kilo electron volts. इतना energy का photon, यानी कि इतना energy का X-ray निकल रहा है. K gamma is given to us as 65. नहीं, K beta is 60, L alpha is 20, L beta is 25. ये दिया था, ये तीन दिया है. Okay. On top of that, ionization energy भी दिया है. अच्छा, ionization energy मतलब क्या? What is, by definition, what is your ionization energy? It's the energy required to remove an electron from that atom. And where would you remove an electron? Minimum energy required के लिए तुम electron को valence shell से निकालोगे. Valence shell से निकालना मतलब krypton के nth, krypton का fourth shell, n shell से electron निकालना. नहीं, अभी krypton has just, so we're talking about where electrons already are, right? So krypton has an electron in its fourth shell. krypton के fourth shell से जब तुम एक electron निकालोगे, ओके, krypton की fourth shell से जब एक electron निकालोगे, तो fourth shell में vacancy आ जाएगा. मतलब वो किस energy state पे चला जाएगा? It will be in the energy state En, because there is a vacancy in the N shell. N मतलब fourth shell, KLMN. तो krypton को जब तुम ionize करोगे, it will go from zero energy state to En energy state. Did everyone understand that? Krypton को ionize करने में, the atom goes from a neutral atom to an atom with a vacancy in the N shell. When an atom has a vacancy in the N shell, its energy level is labeled as En, right? And when the atom was normal, its energy level is 0. तो krypton को अगर उसका ionization energy 5 किलो electron volt है, मतलब krypton के outermost shell से electron निकालने के लिए energy 5 किलो electron volt लगता है. मतलब krypton में n shell में vacancy create करने के लिए energy 5 किलो electron volt लगता है. मतलब what is the energy for this transition? ये गैप क्या है? 5 किलो इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स. न्यूट्रल स्टेट, नॉर्मल स्टेट और गैप इन द एन शेल के बीच में जो ट्रांजिशन के लिए जो एनर्जी चाहिए, वही तो हो गया अपना आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी, राइट? दैट इज योर आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी. It takes 5 kilo electron volts to go from here to here. to go from a normal atom to a gap in the n shell. So this jump from E equal to 0 to En is 5 kilo electron volts. So this also can be labeled in the graph. Okay, so this, did everyone understand what I've labeled so far? Why this is 5 and the rest, if you know what L alpha, L beta and K beta mean, why this gap is 60, this gap is 20 and this gap is 25. Have you understood these labelings? If anyone wants me to explain that again, please let me know. More importantly, why is En और E equal to 0 के बीच में gap 5 kilo electron volts? सवाल ने बोला था ionization energy is 5 kilo electron volts. I hope you guys understood why this gap is the ionization energy. Okay. All right. We'll come to this part again in the second question. But in the first question, I asked कि find energy of K alpha. So K alpha is this transition. इसका energy कैसे मिलेगा? I'm given K beta, L alpha, L beta. So if you look carefully, K beta minus this gap is K alpha and this gap is L alpha. So K beta का transition minus L alpha का transition is K alpha. So was that simple? Energy of K alpha is energy of K beta minus energy of L alpha. ये आगे सबको समझ में? Energy of K alpha is energy of K beta minus energy of L alpha. Right? Energy of K beta is 60. Energy of L alpha is 20. तो 60 में से इतना पार्ट 20 है, इतना पार्ट को 40 होना पड़ेगा. So K alpha का energy transition is 40 kilo electron volts. Like that, can you answer the second part of the question? The second part was, I think, K gamma. K gamma का energy transition. K gamma कितना energy का होगा? And M alpha कितने का होगा? Right? So just can you quickly work that out in your head? K gamma and L alpha. M alpha. K gamma and M alpha. K gamma. Think how K gamma can be found in terms of these terms. And maybe you already know K alpha. So maybe in terms of that as well. क्या आएगा K gamma का value? K gamma is from what? Directly the vacancy goes from K to the outermost shell. Vacancy अंदर से innermost से outermost जा रहा है, तो electron outermost से direct 4 से 1 directly electron जा रहा है, vacancy 1 से 4 जा रहा है. Very nice. तो K gamma, very nice, Sairam, Yash, perfect. K gamma is going to be K alpha 1 से 2 था, K alpha plus L beta 2 से 4, 1 से 2 और 2 से 4 का combination. तो K alpha plus L beta is K gamma. Okay, and जल्दी से M alpha भी निकाल दो. M alpha का value, then we'll see that. M alpha, very nice. Yes, Sairam सही है, Yash सही है. Okay. Hope the others are getting it as well. I mean, this is simple stuff. Ame, very nice. All right. So let's discuss that. So coming back to this graph now, K gamma is the energy of K alpha plus L beta. Okay. K gamma is from 1 to 4. So 1 से 2 plus 2 to 4. So 1 से 2 k alpha का energy is 40 and 2 to 4 L beta का energy is 25. So 40 plus 25, 65 kilo electron volts is the energy released, or is the energy of the photon released in a k gamma transition. M alpha, okay, I have by the way labeled k alpha as 40 and k gamma is 65. Similarly, M alpha L beta minus L alpha से आएगा, या k gamma minus k beta से आएगा. Okay, in terms of L beta and L alpha, because they were directly given, L beta minus L alpha is the energy of M alpha. L beta 25 है और L alpha 20 है, तो 2 to 4 और 2 to 3 को subtract करोगे तो you'll be left with 3 to 4. Okay, so M alpha is 5 kilo electron volts. That's the answer to the first question. Second वाला, why is, है ना, second वाले में I'll ask you what is the energy of the what is the value of En, or what is the energy of the energy level En. Okay, what is this energy level, En का energy level. तो वो कैसे किया था? Ionization energy, understanding what that means. Be clear, ionization energy is the energy required to remove the electron from the valence shell. So it will give you the energy of the atom when there is a vacancy in the valence shell. Okay, so जैसे यहाँ पे follow along, as krypton has 4 shells, the energy needed to ionize it, 5 kilo electron volts, would be the energy needed to remove an electron from the N shell, or in a general case, the outermost shell. This would also be the energy needed to create a vacancy in the N shell. So ionization energy is the energy needed to create a vacancy in the valence shell, whatever that may be. यहाँ पे N shell है, in general valence shell में vacancy create करने के लिए जो energy लगेगा, that is ionization energy. मतलब वो directly वो valence shell में vacancy का energy का value हो जाएगा. उतना energy चाहिए starting from 0, and you're giving 5 kilo electron volts to create a vacancy in the N shell. Matlab, that is the energy of the atom when there is a vacancy in the N shell, because you're starting from 0. So therefore ionization energy is the same as En. अगर krypton की जगह argon होता तो it would be Em. जो भी ionization energy that would be Em, right? Neon होता it would be El. जिस शेल में तुम्हें जो वैलेंस शेल है उस शेल में तुम वेकेंसी क्रिएट कर रहे हो, तो जितना आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी है दैट्स द एनर्जी ऑफ द एटम विद अ वेकेंसी इन द वैलेंस शेल. तो यहाँ पे En is 5 kilo electron volts. Did you guys understand this? Okay, because if you did, the next question is, okay, no doubt in this, the next part of the question is, find the energy required to knock out an electron from the M shell. Even those who did manage to solve this at home, let me know what answers you got for this. Energy required to knock out an electron from the M shell. Yes, Purna, very nice. Okay, you got it. M shell से इलेक्ट्रॉन निकालने का एनर्जी. यस यस, परफेक्ट. फिर वैसे ही L शेल से इलेक्ट्रॉन निकालने का एनर्जी. Yes, Sairam, you can say that. Yes, yes, you can say that. So अभी यहाँ पे क्या है, when I have to knock out an electron from the M shell, that means I'm going from a zero energy level to an energy level where, Sairam, that's correct, to an energy level where there is a vacancy in that shell. So if I'm knocking out, if I'm supplying some energy to knock out an electron from the M shell, the energy that I supply becomes the energy value of that energy level. That becomes the magnitude of the energy in that energy level, right? Because we're starting from zero. So जैसा n shell में vacancy create करने के लिए जो energy लग रहा था 5 किलो इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स, वो En का energy level हुआ, तो वैसा ही M shell में vacancy create करने के लिए जितना energy चाहिए, that becomes the energy of Em. Okay, so the energy required to knock out an electron from any shell is the energy needed to create a vacancy in that shell. Obviously, knocking out an electron means you're creating a vacancy. Since the reference level is taken as zero for the state where there is no vacancy, whatever energy you now give to create a vacancy becomes the energy of that vacancy level. तुम zero से start कर रहे हो, zero से start करके अगर तुम्हें मान लो है ना 20 किलो इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट देना पड़ रहा है M में वेकेंसी क्रिएट करने के लिए, तो M का एनर्जी लेवल हो जाएगा 20 किलो इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट्स. Okay, now what is it exactly? We'll see. So therefore, what is actually asked in question 3? Energy needed to knock an electron from M is actually Em. Energy needed to knock out an electron from L is actually El. Energy needed to create a vacancy in K is actually Ek, because we're starting from zero. Okay, if we weren't, then it would be this plus something. But since we're starting from zero, energy needed to create a vacancy in K is Ek. Now, Em, as you can clearly see, now this part is, once you understand what they're asking, it's not difficult. Because Em से En के बीच में 5 किलो इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट का गैप है और En खुद 5 पे है. En is already at 5, उससे और 5 किलो इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट ऊपर Em होगा. तो Em होगा En plus M alpha, 5 plus 5. En plus M alpha. 5 plus 5 is the energy of the atom when there is a vacancy in the M shell. So this is going to be 10 kilo electron volts. Next, El is the energy of the atom when there's a vacancy in the L shell. तो उसको कैसे करेंगे? You already have En का reference level is 5. You have, अच्छा इसमें क्या है sir? So energy of mth orbit will also be 10 kilo electron volts. The answer is no. I mean, energy of mth orbit will also be 10. वो थोड़ा language गलत है, क्योंकि we are right now not saying कि mth orbit का energy इतना है. Em is the energy of the atom when there is a vacancy in the mth shell. Okay. Em is the energy of the atom जब M shell में, mth नहीं, M shell में vacancy है. और जितना अंदर वेकेंसी जाते जाएगा उतना अनस्टेबल और उतना ज्यादा एनर्जी उस एटम का रहेगा. तो Em El निकालने के लिए I just have to do 5 plus 5. यहाँ पे we are already at 10. Em is 10. ये गैप कितना दिख रहा है? 20. तो Em plus L alpha, 10 plus 20, 30 is El. ठीक है. So 5 is En का एनर्जी लेवल और 5 ऊपर Em पे आ गए और ये गैप ऑलरेडी पता है 20 का, तो और 20 ऊपर जाओ तो El पे आ गए. तो 30 किलो इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट इज द एनर्जी ऑफ द El लेवल. यहाँ पे नीचे मैंने लिखा है इट्स बेसिकली En plus L alpha. En 5 था and is it L alpha? Rather I think it's L beta. En plus L beta. Okay, Similarly, the last one, K शेल का जो एनर्जी होगा, लास्ट वन K शेल का जो एनर्जी होगा, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी, सिंपल काउंट करके कर सकते हो, ये ऑलरेडी पता है 30 है, 30 प्लस ये गैप 40 का, तो 70 होगा, 70 होगा। और यू कैन से ई एन इटसेल्फ इज 5, और फिर 5 से सीधा उधर जाने के लिए द ट्रांसिशन वाज के गामा, जिसका एनर्जी वाज 65, तो 5 प्लस 65 70, 5 plus 5 plus 20 plus 40 70, so 70 kilo electron volts is the energy of ek, मतलब energy of the atom when there is a gap in k. Did everyone understand this? Now the fourth question is really nice. Let me know if you got this. Okay, great. चलो अब ये वाला यार, ये सवाल थोड़ा सोचो. You have, I'll in a bit after you read this, I'll show you that question again. I mean, I'll show you the previous page again, so you can refer the column values. Question is, what should be the minimum energy of the bombarding electrons required to produce L alpha X-rays? What should be the minimum energy of the bombarding electrons required to produce L alpha X-rays? Take your time and think. Also find the corresponding accelerating voltage and cutoff wavelength. तो जब you're just producing L alpha X-rays, तब accelerating voltage कितना होगा, cutoff wavelength कितना होगा, वो निकाल दो. And more importantly, then the next question is, which of the following will also be produced in this case? Will K alpha, K beta, K gamma, L beta, M alpha, which of these 5 will also be produced along with your L alpha X-rays? Take a little time, think and answer. You can find the cutoff wavelength in picometers. कौन बताएगा? Come on. So at least पहले first part check कर लो before you solve further. Minimum energy of the bombarding electrons required to produce L alpha X-rays. Very nice, Purna. Yes, that's right. Great. सही है. और बाकी लोग कुछ मिल रहा है. कौन गाइस, ये रेफरेंस लेवल देखो, सिंपल सी बात है. कितना अभी फोटोन का एनर्जी इनकमिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन का कितना एनर्जी होना चाहिए, right? So that L alpha emissions are seen. Disha, excellent, very nice, perfect. वो भी निकाल सकते थे. और क्या पूछा था मैंने? Cut off wavelength in this scenario. But yes, you're right. Disha, very nice, perfect. uh, Puna, you're right. Yes, सही है. वैल्यू वैसे निकाल सकते थे, but yeah, you're right. Good. Purna's gotten it. Disha's gotten it. So basically, a point क्या है? If L alpha, yeah, see the answer for this, if L alpha X-rays are to be produced, L alpha कब होता है? When L alpha X-rays can be produced, when you have a vacancy in the L shell. L alpha का मतलब क्या होता है? I mean, L series in general produce होने के लिए criteria क्या है? You have to start from the energy level where there is a vacancy in L, and you can go to any lower energy level, and in that process photons will be released. मतलब पहले L shell में vacancy बनना चाहिए. वो vacancy वहां पे बनेगा तो vacancy बाहर की तरफ जा सकता है. vacancy बाहर की तरफ जाना मतलब electrons higher orbit से अंदर आके L में vacancy जो है उसको भर सकता है, creating a vacancy in the higher orbit. Right? So for L alpha X-ray to take place, you first need to have a vacancy in the L shell. For you to have a vacancy in the L shell, the electron should be able to knock out and the incoming bombarding electrons should be able to knock out an electron from the L shell. If it knocks out something from only from M, this cannot go up. That process needs energy. It can't go up. It can only go down, right? It can only seek more and more stability. तो तुम अगर EL तक पहुंच ही नहीं सकते, मतलब L शेल से इलेक्ट्रॉन नॉकआउट कर ही नहीं सकते, तो L अल्फा बनेगा ही नहीं. ठीक है? That's the idea. That's the idea. So, in order to, if L alpha X-rays are to be produced, a vacancy must be created. It must be possible. It must be possible. Must be possible to create a vacancy. To create a vacancy in the M shell. So it must be possible to create a vacancy in the M shell. For you to do that, to do this, 30 kilo electron volts are, come on, yeah. To do this, 30 kilo electron volts are needed. 30 kilo electron volts of energy is needed. This must be the minimum energy of the incoming of the bombarding electrons. Okay. This must be the minimum energy of the bombarding electrons. Okay. It must be En. It must be Em, energy level of M. Okay. So it should not be unlike what some students tend to think. It does not have to be L alpha का energy level. By the way, क्या मैं L की बात कर रहा हूँ? I'm so sorry, I drifted to M. ठीक है, L की बात कर रहे थे ना? So should be the energy required to create a vacancy in the L shell. My bad. Okay. So it must be EL. इसमें क्या होता है? Some students think कि सर L alpha बनाने के लिए मुझे 20 किलो इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट का इलेक्ट्रॉन चाहिए. वैसा बात नहीं है. L alpha अपने आप बनेगा. You don't need any energy to create L alpha. You just need energy to create a vacancy in the L shell. When you create a vacancy in the L shell, automatically L alpha, L beta, and everything below that will be attained. Because L से बाद में vacancy M जा सकता है, तो M series can be achieved, N series can be achieved, and so on and so forth. So you just have to ensure कि L shell में vacancy बन रहा है. ठीक है, तो तुम्हें L alpha का energy से कोई संबंध नहीं है. वो खुद energy lose करके इतना energy का photon देगा. और तुम्हें EL level तक पहुंचना पड़ेगा. So for that, the incoming electron should have an energy of 30 kilo electron volts, because that's the energy needed to knock out an electron from the L shell. All right. So therefore, the answer is, therefore minimum energy is 30 kilo electron volts. Now, accelerating voltage. You guys should know कि to give an electron a kinetic energy in electron volts, you need the same magnitude of potential difference in volts. So accelerating voltage is 30 kilovolts, right? 1 volt का potential difference with 1 electron का charge, 1 volt का potential difference applied on 1 electron का charge gives it an energy of 1 electron volt. तो 30 kilo electron volt का energy चाहिए, तो 30 kilovolt का voltage चाहिए. I hope you guys know that, and I hope that I don't need to explain that part. फिर just a sec. हाँ, then इसके बाद what is the next thing? हाँ, then we want cut off wavelength. Okay, so just a sec, I'm just connecting my charger. Yeah, sorry. The cut off wavelength is going to be hc by energy, right? By the way, ये ठीक है, hc by energy. Cut off wavelength is hc by the energy. Yeah, hc by the incoming energy. Okay, so I'll just call this energy of the electron, thoda, so that it's not confusing. Energy of the incoming electron is this much. ठीक है, अब वो इलेक्ट्रॉन का जो भी एनर्जी होगा, ज्यादा से ज्यादा वो पूरा एनर्जी कैन गो इन emitting continuous x-rays. तो जब continuous x-rays emit होता है, पूरा का पूरा electron का energy is diverted to creating these continuous x-rays, तब the largest energy photon or the minimum wavelength photon that can be emitted will have what wavelength? hc by e. hc by e. E is hc by lambda से आ जाएगा. So for that h डाल दो 4.15 into 10 to the power minus 15 इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट सेकंड. ठीक है, स्पीड ऑफ लाइट डाल दो 3 into 10 to the power 8. ठीक है, if you're confused of the units, please write out the full units. That's always going to be a good idea. And energy of the electron itself is 30 kilo electron volts. So 30 kilo electron volt. सब कुछ सही units में लिख लो. You can see how those units will cancel out and you'll be confident कि your answer is coming out to be in which units. By the way, 30 is into 10 cube, that's 3 into 10 to the power 4. This and this will cancel out and become 10 to the power 4. So we are going to get this as 4.15 into 10 to the power minus 11 meters. And इसको 10 to the power minus 12 के form में लिखोगे तो you'll get 41.5 picometers. Give you an idea of what these just give it. So this is typically this is the range in which you see your wavelengths in X-rays. 41.5 picometers is सवाल का answer है. Last question was when you reach the L shell. Okay, on reaching, since enough energy is given just to reach EL, since enough energy is given just to reach EL, yeah, just to create a vacancy in L, since enough energy is given just to create a vacancy in L, we cannot create one in K because that would need even more energy. So we cannot create a vacancy in K. And thus, the K series X-rays will not be produced. The K series ones will not be produced. The K series ones will not be produced. Okay. However, since you're giving enough energy to reach L, the vacancies can move to higher orbits. The vacancy can move to higher orbits. Thus, L series and M series, and N का बात है ही नहीं because N is anyways the valence shell, उससे और higher orbit नहीं है. Thus L series and M series can be created. So the answer is L series में you'll have L beta, and M series में you'll have M alpha. K series वाले cannot be created. Understood this? Okay. So यहाँ पे I mean this was a long question. This can be like a paragraph question in your advanced, or this could be just a single question in, and a smaller part of this could be asked. Typically वैसा question काफी common है जो first part में किया कि K beta K gamma दिया, L alpha पूछा, something या M alpha पूछा, something like that. Those kinds of questions are common. Fourth one थोड़ा ionization energy का association with the energy of the atom with the vacancy in the valence shell. That is one important association. And I think बाकी ये वाला question भी थोड़ा अच्छा है ना? तो L alpha जो transition है वो अपने आप होता है. You don't have to give that much energy, but rather you have to give enough energy to ensure कि a vacancy in L is created. वो हमेशा ज्यादा होगा. L alpha L beta उन सबसे ज्यादा. 0 से L तक पहुंचेंगे 30 किलो इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट चाहिए था. बाकी सारे जो photons emit हो रहे हैं, all of their energies are lesser than 30. L alpha was 20, L beta was 25, M alpha was 5. Okay. All right. Understood these questions? Okay. We'll quickly move to the second part of the chapter. It's called as Moseley's law. This is the same guy who I think created the modern version of the periodic table, right? If I'm not wrong. And Moseley's law comes out in 1913. Now that's going to be, I'll mention in a bit why that year is quite interesting. But Moseley measured the frequency of K. This is what he did. He measured the frequency of K alpha emissions of different elements and found that the root of the frequency increases in a stepwise manner from element to element. क्या बोल रहे हो? This is done in chem. ये हुआ है chemistry में. Oh wow. Okay, good for me. Cool. थोड़ा जल्दी जा सकते हैं through this. So K alpha emissions, just the formula and 1-2 questions. Well, we also don't have a lot in this. But the point is कि like before that, what had happened was they were arranging elements in order of atomic mass. तो ये क्या किया, अलग अलग elements लेते गया, अलग अलग elements का K alpha emissions measure किया, root frequency निकाला, and he saw here this seems to, based on the element, it seems to be increasing in a stepwise manner. As you move down the periodic table, there were some problems because earlier the periodic table was arranged according to the mass number. So फिर he realized that a rearrangement was needed for that stepwise manner to look good. Later he realized that rearrangement implied that there now actually it makes sense to arrange elements according to the atomic number and not the mass number. Okay, so he plotted a graph, the root of frequency of K alpha emissions versus the atomic number. He found it to be a straight line. So root nu versus Z is a straight line. This justified. So इसका एक बड़ा important point था कि this justified a rearrangement in the periodic table on the basis rearrangement of the periodic table, fair enough, on the basis of atomic number and not the atomic weight. ठीक है? Moreover, ये graph का जो slope है, तो he saying कि this is a straight line graph. This straight line का equation can look like this. Okay, y is equal to mx minus c या mx minus x intercept. So technically, हाँ, mx minus x intercept. तो ऐसा स्ट्रेट लाइन का बेसिकली ग्राफ आ रहा है, स्ट्रेट लाइन का ग्राफ आ रहा है. But what was interesting was the value of this slope when it was found experimentally. He plotted all this for different elements. Then you find the slope of this. This slope can be theoretically explained by Bohr's atomic model, and therefore this was consistent with Bohr's atomic model, and thus this further added to the credibility of Bohr's atomic model. So that's what we're gonna see, how this links with Bohr's atomic model. What I found interesting was the fact that this guy achieved this in 1913, when Bohr's atomic model was also, it also came out in 1913. Moreover, Coolidge tube, X-ray tube itself also was, I mean, first came out in 1913. So you can imagine how quick this guy was. जैसा ही एक X-ray tube बन गया, he sat and started using it, and based on what he observed, I don't know if he justified this immediately, but based on what he observed, either he or others could find a connection and could find an explanation using Bohr's atomic model, which also came out earlier that year. So that was a little interesting. Now, so this is Moseley's law. Root nu is A Z minus B. A is called as the proportionality constant, and B is called as the screening constant. And I think I mentioned those names a little later. Explanation by Bose. This is how this was explained by Bose. So for K alpha X-rays, okay, for K alpha X-rays, K alpha क्या है? Vacancy in K moves to vacancy in L. First shell से second shell में vacancy चला जाता है, और electron second shell से first shell में आ जाता है. तो क्या हो रहा है? K alpha X-rays में an electron is knocked out from the innermost shell. Then an electron from the second shell descends to the first shell. So this is just like Lyman series का first line. फर्क बस इतना है कि Lyman series में जब electron second shell से first shell आ रहा है, then in the rest of the atom there are no other electrons. That is a single electron species. यहाँ पे बस इतना फर्क है कि यहाँ पे there are multiple electrons. Now they are not making this transition. So they are not as such contributing to the energy change. But what they are doing is their presence affects the pull, the electrostatic pull that this electron feels from the nucleus, right? And that's a concept you guys know better from chemistry as shielding, right? The inner electrons shield, or they screen the nuclear charge, the nuclear pull towards the outer electrons, right? And therefore the outer electrons don't exactly experience ZE, number of protons into E, charge pulling them, but they experience something lesser than ZE because of the screening effect of the electrons in inner shells, right? So अभी या क्या है? अभी according to Bohr's model, the frequency of the photon emitted for this transition would be, so what is the formula? So we know कि 1 by lambda, Rydberg वाला equation लिख रहा हूँ, is Rydberg constant into z square 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 2 square. This is the transition wala energy. This is the transition wala energy. This is the wavelength of the photon emitted. Bohr की तरह ही है, 1 by lambda r z square. अब यहाँ पे फिलहाल मैंने z को adjust नहीं किया है. We are first looking at Bohr के हिसाब से क्या wavelength of photon निकलेगा जब electron second shell से first shell में आएगा. This is Lyman का first line, but for a different atomic number. The 1 by lambda is r z square 1 upon 1 square minus 1 upon 2 square. Lambda itself can be written as c by frequency, c by speed by frequency, c by nu. So nu ऊपर जाएगा. Nu upon c is this thing. Nu upon c is this thing. तो c को जब right hand side पे cross multiply कर लोगे, तो we'll get rcz square is nu into rcz square into this fraction, this 1 minus 1 by 4. तो 3/4 RCZ square is nu according to Bohr's. रूट न्यू फिर क्या होगा? रूट न्यू होगा रूट ऑफ 3RC/4 times Z. Root of 3RC/4 times Z. Okay. Acha, that means root nu should be proportional to Z. This is coming from Bohr's atomic theory. There is a slight difference between the real observations and Bohr's explanation, and that difference is that the Bohr's model assumes single electron species where the concerned electron experiences a nuclear charge of Ze. Alright, in single electron species वो electron के अलावा और कोई नहीं है, तो electron पूरा nucleus का attractive pull experience कर रहा है. However, in multiple electron systems, okay, multiple electron systems, the electrons will experience a nuclear charge of less than Ze or Z minus B into E. In this case, okay, less than Ze or Z minus some number into E, so less than Ze, due to shielding. I hope you guys got that. बाहर वाले electrons, आउटर शेल वाले इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, मान लो सेकंड शेल में जो अभी फिलहाल सेकंड शेल की बात करें, तो सेकंड शेल से जो अब इलेक्ट्रॉन आने वाला है वो पूरा न्यूक्लियस का अट्रैक्टिव पुल को एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा है. बट ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट देयर इज वन इलेक्ट्रॉन, वन बिकॉज अब के शेल में एक वैकेंसी है और एक इलेक्ट्रॉन है, सो देयर इज वन इलेक्ट्रॉन लेफ्ट इन द के शेल जो ये इनकमिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन को रिपेल कर रहा है. Right? So therefore the net pull that this electron which wants to go from 2 to 1 experiences is less than Ze, is less than Ze. So then therefore that justifies कि यहाँ पे Z के जगह Z से छोटा एक नंबर होना चाहिए, Z minus something, to account for the reduced effective nuclear charge, to account for the repulsions that inner electrons are creating. Okay, so ये क्या हो जाएगा? रूट न्यू ए जेड की जगह रूट न्यू ए इंटू जेड माइनस बी. दिस इज व्हाट वी नाउ एक्सपेक्ट एज अ रिजल्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू बोर्स, ठीक है, adjusted for multiple electron systems, and that is exactly what mostly found experimentally as well. According to Bohr's, we expect this value to be root 3 RC/4, this constant, and experimentally that adds up. Experimentally that comes to root 3 RC/4. Okay, so that justifies Bohr's atomic model in that sense. Any doubt on this page? Okay. It's known by you. We'll quickly do some questions, but seems like you guys are. If you have any doubts, just please come in. Okay, it's crazy that you guys have done this in chemistry. It's nice. It's a mostly is law for K alpha lines. Okay, so technically abhi they will just normally ask this for the K alpha line. They'll not go into other lines, but conceptually, I mean, you can imagine कि alpha का पूछ सकते हैं, तो conceptually दूसरे का भी पूछ सकते हैं. अब logic K alpha का derivation हमने अभी पिछले पेज में देखा, ठीक है, and K alpha के इसमें we saw कि that constant comes out to be root 3/4 RC. Root 3/4 RC, when you plug in the value of R is 1.1, right, into 10 to the power 7 in its SI units, and C is 3 into 10 to the power 8. Okay, R is 1.1 into 10 to the power minus 7. 10 to the power minus 7. So एक मिनट, just a second. नहीं, it's 10 raised to 7. I'm sorry, it's 10 raised to 7. Yes, 10 raised to 7. तो फिर उसको लिख सकते हैं 11 into 10 raised to 6 and 11 into यहाँ पे 3 and 3 हो जाएगा 9, so it becomes 99/4 into 10 raised to 14, जिसका रूट हो जाएगा 10 to the power 7 into रूट 99/4. ठीक है, रूट 99/4 अगर निकालना ही है ए का एक अप्रोक्सीमेट वैल्यू, तो रूट 99/4 इज वेरी क्लोज टू रूट 25, सो दिस वेरी क्लोज टू 5 into 10 to the power 7 hertz to the power half. That's a rough idea of what your proportionality constant is. My suggestion is you stick to this and you square the equation and solve to get more accurate results. But proportionality constant, this is called as your proportionality constant. B is 1 for the K series and B is called as your screening constant. Okay, the B is 1 for the K series. So B is 1 because Z effective for an electron, the effective nuclear charge that an electron in the second shell experiences when there is a vacancy in the first is Z minus 1. Okay? So technically, I mean, this comes experimentally. And if this is explained, this can normally only be explained by using the quantum model. But nonetheless, यहाँ पे एक loose explanation is कि वो एक इलेक्ट्रॉन अंदर है, वो एक इलेक्ट्रॉन रिपेल कर रहा है और बाकी Z प्रोटॉन्स अट्रैक्ट कर रहे हैं, तो नेट अट्रैक्टिव इन दैट सेंस Z minus 1 का नेट चार्ज अट्रैक्ट कर रहा है. बट there's just a loose explanation. The exact reason it's close to 1 is because this is observed experimentally, and this can in a way be justified by quantum model. Okay, unless your chem teacher has given a better explanation. But यहाँ पे the point is you may use these values. You may use b equal to 1 and you may use a का value for a question unless it's given otherwise. सवाल अगर तुम्हें बता रहा है कि a इतना है या b है या a निकालने को बोल रहे हो, वो बोल रहा है वो, तो तब you have to like do as the question says. But otherwise, if those values are not given, you can use a as root 99/4 into 10 to the power 7 and b as 1. Okay, if these values are not given. That's Moseley's for K alpha. Just to give you a glimpse of how Moseley's will look for some other transition. For your information, you can do this. कुछ याद नहीं करना है, कोई और ट्रांसिशन L alpha, तो तुम वापस you'll go back to the basics. Basics यहाँ पे था, तुम बोलोगे कि अरे L alpha transition मतलब यहाँ पे sorry, L alpha transition मतलब L alpha is from 2 to 3. तो तुम यहाँ पे 2 square डालोगे, यहाँ पे 3 square डालोगे. अच्छा, what does that become? 2 square is 1/4, 3 square is 1/9. So when you cross multiply, that becomes 9 minus 4, 5 upon 9 into 4, 36. तो यहाँ पे जो 3/4 है, 3/4 बस 5/36 होगा. Accordingly, कोई और ट्रांसिशन के बारे में अगर बात हो रहा है, you can similarly apply this and figure out उस केस में क्या फ्रैक्शन आएगा 3/4 के जगह या 5/36 की जगह. फिलहाल L alpha is from 2 to 3, so instead of 3/4 you'll have 5/36. Rest everything will be the same. Okay, so बस ये last theory, फिर थोड़े questions करेंगे. So A is root 5/36 RC. Okay, if you just plug in the values of R and C. Okay, which is almost like 33 into 10 to the power 14 वैसा कुछ है. This comes out to be very close to 5 से थोड़ा कम, 4 into 10 raised to 14 वैसा कुछ है. So it's little greater than 2 into 10 to the power 7. Okay, again, nothing to be memorized over here. You can approximate and somehow find these roots, if at all that is asked. But so A is 2.14 into 10 to the power 7 के आसपास. B का value is 7.4 for the L series. They won't really test this. Okay, advanced again knowledge testing करता है. They test logic. They'll more likely test these fractions. But just for your information, and look this up, L series के लिए B का value is 7.4. If for some reason electrons in the third shell, when they encounter की What, in fact, what do they encounter below them, between them and the nucleus? So they encounter 9 electrons. Third shell wale will encounter 9 electrons. Why? You have 2 electrons in the first shell and you have 8 minus 1. एक vacancy है, right? Second orbit में. So you have 7 electrons in the second orbit. So 2 electrons in the first orbit, 7 electrons in the second orbit. So total of 9 electrons. So in reality, what answer in a way were we expecting? What is the net effective charge? वैसे so net charge is like Z minus 9 in that sense, effective nuclear charge. But not all these electrons are very good in screening. Like one explanation I found online, the p electrons were not that good in screening. Their shape is not symmetrical. So um, they're dumbbell shape. So p electrons का screening उतना अच्छा नहीं है, जिसके कारण this value actually drops. So instead of Z minus 9, it's only as good as 7.4 electrons repelling as strongly as the protons are attracting. So Z effective ऐसा Z minus 7.4 आता है for the L series. सारे K series के लिए Z minus 1, सारे L series के लिए Z minus 7.4 for your information. Okay. Advanced does not really test things like this. 7.4 याद है या नहीं, they won't test that. And how does this value come? It comes experimentally. Okay. Some say this can be proved by quantum mechanics. I've not seen the proof myself, but the best explanation is ये experimentally ये factor, ये number दिखता है. Okay. All right. So with all this information, let's just try now 2-3 questions. First question for you guys: use Moseley's law. So using Moseley's law, find the ratio between the frequency of K beta and L beta X-rays. So for a particular metal. एक second. Just make this, instead of K beta, make this K gamma. K gamma. Using Moseley's law, find the ratio between the frequency of K beta and K gamma X-rays. It's one simple. Come on. Ratio between frequency of K beta and K gamma. So this is where, although technically you just need to know A ka value for K alpha, but JEE Advanced can test this because it's purely conceptual, it's purely Bose, right? So for K beta, the idea is, right? K beta ke liye the idea is 1 by lambda, which is frequency by C, is Rydberg constant. Okay, अब Z के जगह Z minus B होगा whole square into, अच्छा, K beta is a transition from between the first and the third shell, right? So this is going to be 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 3 square, right? Okay, तो ये आ जाएगा lambda for K beta, या rather frequency for K beta. तो यहाँ पे frequency for K beta will come out to be 1 minus 1 by 9, तो 8 by 9 R C Z minus B square. Okay, K gamma similarly, I hope now you guys know what to do. Okay. So K gamma के लिए you have again 1 by lambda is equal to frequency by C, R is equal to R, Z minus same B use करने को बोला है, but this time it's going to be first shell and fourth shell के बीच में transition, 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 4 square. So that second ratio becomes 15 by 16. 15 by 16. So frequency for K gamma is 15 by 16 and the rest is the same, RC Z minus, उन्होंने बोला है कि same B है. So that's it. Between K beta and K gamma X-rays का frequency, the answer will be 8 by 9 divided by 15 by 16. So 8 into 16 is 128 and 9 into 15 is 135. ऐसा question आ सकता है, ठीक? Advancement. So not exclusively K alpha series, but conceptually using Bohr's, using Moseley's, you can answer these questions. ये समझ में आया? Clear? Let me know if you guys are getting this. There's 2 more questions with reaching the end. Please ये try कर लो. Frequency of the K alpha X-rays for a certain element is so and so. Find the element. Come on. Frequency of the K alpha X-rays for a certain element is this. Find the element. For your reference, you can use that periodic table. Exam में तुम्हें सारे elements का atomic number दिया जाता है at the front of your booklet. Hello, come on guys, let's wrap this up quickly. Frequency of K alpha X-rays for a certain element is so and so. Find the element. Um, I'm not sure if it's lithium. I will quickly cross check that. Uh, no, it's not lithium. It's not lithium. Okay, it's नहीं, sorry. यार थोड़ा change करना पड़ेगा. Oh shit. Sorry. Uh, नहीं नहीं. I think the value थोड़ा I'll have to change. Perfect. Put. Just a second, guys. Just a second. Um, my bad. Yeah, इसको प्लीज डबल कर दो. डबल करोगे तो आई थिंक अच्छा आंसर आएगा. इसको डबल करना पड़ेगा. स्क्वायर का गड़बड़ हो गया. या यस, पूर्ण सही है. इसको जस्ट डबल कर लो तो दिस बिकम्स 158.4. सॉरी गाइस, थोड़ा मेस्ड अप. 158.4. I'll let you know previous इसके हिसाब से क्या किस एलिमेंट के पास आंसर आ रहा था. बट just make this correction. 158.4 इससे एक perfect element आ जाएगा. Frequency of K alpha X-rays. Okay, those who have all the working done, just make the small change and see which element that leads you to. In the meanwhile, let me just get started with this. So that number is double of what it was before. तो पहले था, पहले था 79.2 something. Right now it's 158.4. Okay, 158.4. So we know कि mu is 3RC. Yeah, rather mu is 3RC by 4. Okay, that's fine. Mu is 3RC by 4. Okay, into Z square. Z minus B का square. ठीक है, this is frequency. Square कर लिया मैंने Moseley's equation को. And यहाँ पे 150 8.4 is, ये by the way क्या था, this was, so when you put r as 1.1 into 10 raised to 7 and then you multiply that with 3 into 10 raised to 8, so it becomes 3.3 into, in fact with this 3 it becomes 9.9 into 10 raised to 15, which can be written as 99 into 10 raised to 14. Just plug in the values of Rydberg constant and speed of light. So 99 by 4 into 10 raised to 14, and when b is not given you can take b as 1. ठीक है, तो यहाँ से फिर 99, ठीक है, you can in fact just round off and see this is close to 160, that's close to 100. So this is almost 16 times by looking at the nearest numbers. And in fact if you actually multiply 99 with यहाँ पे हम एक और 10 power 15 मिसिंग है, तो 10 power 15 into 10 to the power 15, तो ये जब काटोगे 10 raised to 14 and 10 raised to 15 काटोगे, you leave 10 on this side, you get 1584 is equal to 99 by 4 z minus 1 square. Okay, ठीक है, then approximately देखो ये 100 है, ये 1600 है, तो 16 times होने का chance है. Actually देखो 99 into 16, 100 minus 1 into 16 is 1600 minus 16. तो ये exactly 16 times आ रहा है. तो अब this is 16, this is 1, so that makes 16 into 4, 64 z minus 1 square. Actually the thing I messed up earlier was I forgot that there was a square over here. Okay, of z minus 1 square is 64, so 8 is z minus 1, and accordingly z is going to be 9. So it's going to be fluorine, although it's a gas. Okay, I mean, this is what the value is giving us. If I had a little bit more time to think, I could have probably done it for a metal. But got the idea, guys? समझा, मतलब ऐसे ऐसे क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं. एक और लास्ट क्वेश्चन देता हूँ होमवर्क के लिए, and then try that and discuss that next time, and we'll move on. It's a simple chapter, and seems like you have done this part in chemistry. So page 14 is what you can try at home. एक बार मैं इसको चेक करके अपलोड कर लेता हूँ. Maybe I made a mistake in my head कि z का square नहीं लिया था, so I'll cross check that and I'll upload this. Okay. Any doubts in this chapter as such? How big is radioactivity? Radioactivity could take around maybe 4 lectures. Could take those many. Yeah. थोड़ा बड़ा है. बट रेडियो एक्टिविटी में एक पार्ट रहेगा जो तुम अब शायद केमिस्ट्री में सीख रहे हो, so that will in a way help us. So if you're going to solve sums in chem, then we may not take that much time in that part. X-rays is there, yes, X-rays is there in the HCM, so you can solve the exercise of X-rays once and get a hang of it. X-rays is there. Good questions like the one that was yesterday's homework, वैसे type के questions we have up, and simple questions are also. Okay, enjoy your holidays. Happy Diwali in advance to all of you. Bye. ये अपलोड कर लेता हूँ एक बार चेक करके. Happy Diwali. Bye bye. Bye. Happy Diwali. Good night. Bye bye. Good night. Hmm. Hmm.